everybody, and welcome to another edition of Average Superstar TV. I am your host, Lauren Lepre. And now that this year is complete, well, it's really about, by the time of recording this, we're about a week before Avatar. So Avatar can't make this list, but we are counting down the top 5 films that Dave and I liked this year in 2025. Please hit that subscribe button. With that, no stranger to this show, Dave from the Halloween Year-Round Podcast. Welcome back, sir.
Hi. Yeah, I'm joining you from a place that definitely isn't my daughter's bedroom, given the pink giraffe print wall pattern that my brother-in-law actually painted. It's pretty impressive.
No, yeah, because it kind of looks like wallpaper. That's good.
No,
Good.
This is painted. Yeah, top notch.
Nice. So, Dave, we had another year go by of movies, which Dave and I were previously just talking minutes ago before we hit this record. So, I'm about to throw us out here now. It was a little bit harder to even put a list together. That's how bad movies have become.
When you say that, you could say it was so hard to pick 5. Either that means there were so many you wanted to pick, or you were like, all right, well. I literally went back. I know this is supposed to be the non-horror list, and that's that's a different video. I literally had to go back through all the releases of the year and look at what did I see, and then be like, "Oh yeah, I liked that one."
So I literally went to IMDb and put in the list of movies to do that, and I got to about 400, and I couldn't believe that I had to kind of push number 4 and 5 in here. I liked it, but the circumstances of how movies were in the 80s and 90s and even in the early 2000s was kind of up until the Lord of the Rings trilogy hit. Man, the box office would be loaded with 5 or 6 hits that lasted months and changed that are part of our culture. Now we're just wow, that was just in the movies 2.5 weeks ago, and there it is on Amazon Prime.
1994, Best Picture. You had Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, and Quiz Show. I forget the 5th one, but just 4 movies, all iconic classics that have stood the test of time, all equally deserving.
Yep, we haven't had a stack.
What you had back then.
We haven't had a stacked bracket like that for an award shows, and we have not had. Basically, if we get a hit that we all agree on these days, that's like a privilege. It's kind of, I call it when you're on a road. It's after midnight. You just left a concert and you're driving an hour to 2 home because you love this band, and there's nowhere to eat. And you go in, you look at the menu, none of this looks good to me, but I am hungry. I'm going to eat something. That is the equivalent when I call movies these days.
I've only ever eaten at Waffle Houses for that reason. Well, it's here and it'll do.
Yeah. But with that, every year there's a few. So
gems.
Yeah, so if you agree with us and our choices here or disagree, I don't care. All comments are always answered. You drop it in the comments there on YouTube. And with that,
that's what YouTube is for.
Exactly. We will start the show. We'll start off with Dave's number 5. Coming in at number 5, being head by the Family Guy, Todd McFarlane. Liam Neeson in The Naked Gun. I have a lot of comments on this, but David, your pick. Go for it.
So this is probably I never would have thought this would be something that I'd be like, oh, it's one of the top 5 movies of the year. And I think when I put it on here, and the reason why it's number 5 is it's not so much the movie itself that I'm putting it on here for, and more what it represents and what it stands for. And that is a return to mid-budget studio comedies whose only goal, whose only agenda is to be funny and tell silly, ridiculous jokes. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's some sort of masterpiece. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's that much better or more different or unique from, the original Naked Gun movies. But I went to see it and laughed. Like there's a joke like every 30 seconds. And like even if one doesn't work for you, in the next minute, there will be one or two that does. And it's a movie that I can't tell you the last actually I can tell you. The last time a comedy movie came out that like I would quote with people, it's probably Tropic Thunder in '08.
Okay.
I quoted jokes from this movie after it came out. So it wasn't so much that like yes, I know they're kind of just doing the same thing. But it works for me, number one, because I think Liam Neeson is kind of the perfect successor. We saw that in Ted 2 with his cameo, where like he can do the ridiculous lines, but with such gravitas and seriousness, and that's what makes it funny. So it's not that I think this is the 5th best movie that came out this year, but this gave me hope for the movie industry. Like, oh, this is a type of movie that I'm so happy to see us back.
Gotcha. So I'll go positive and a negative of what I thought of this. Number one, I'll stick with the positive. So I'm a big fan of Ted, and I'm even a bigger fan, Ted, of the series that's on Peacock. Like it's just, I just like his. I love his humor, and and the way we tiptoed around jokes since 2020. I like Dave. I did not see this. Dave, did he kick the door down? Like, did he go there?
So I mean, it is PG-13. The
Okay.
jokes are less. It's not trying to be quite as edgy and offensive, and more so trying to be just like goofy and ridiculous.
Okay.
Like the kind of humor you would see in Airplane, or
if
although for its time that was edgy and
Okay, so if I had this property, he put it this way: if I was to do a comedy, he would be one of my top go-to guys because I do think what he does is funny. However, I watched the first 3 Naked Gun movies so much. I love Leslie Nielsen and that entire cast. Like, I appreciate that they value like, oh, this is basically part 4. It's a new generation, right? Because it is. I don't know. I guess I'm being.
They satirize the idea. Like he's looking at a picture of his dad talking to him, and then like every other cop in the precinct is talking to pictures of their dads doing the same thing. Like it pokes fun at that. Yes,
but still, even though they do that, I don't know. Call me up, class 1 big, and I can't give it a shot. The thing was is if I go to the theater and I pay money and it does well, they're gonna keep making more. And I want fresh ideas like Ted. Ted was awesome. Like he make a 3rd Ted, but I won't be seeing this. I'm not telling everyone not to, but
fair enough.
Yes. All right. Coming in at my number 5. If you were to tell me when this came out, like, okay, just at the end of the year, you're going to pick this for your top 5. This is a movie I like. I never need to see it again. It was one of those movies of like, cool. I watched the first one over and over, but made for Netflix. Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah. Please explain.
Yeah. So, I mean, who doesn't love the Sandler universe? Like, especially like that first 3 or 4 films. But when he made this one, I was like, oh, there's no reason to go back to this. But he seems to have a thing about like when he does something, like he did a lot of tributes to even the people that have passed on, because believe it or not, this is the mid-90s, so some of these actors aren't even around. I thought he covered all areas. Sometimes, you know what I think it was for me? I kind of jumped off the Adam Sandler wagon a long time ago. So the fact that I revisited it and it was kind of fresh again, maybe I see it with different eyes. And I did like that the wrestler MJF was in it, because he's like the only thing in wrestling I think that's interesting. He played one of his kids. So
there were a lot of cameos.
Yeah, there was, and I dug that they made Shooter McGavin a good kid. They made him a good guy and all that. But I mean, it was just typical stupid 90s Adam Sandler. I guess I was in the mood for it, but yeah, folks, this is how bad movies have come for me as of late. Go ahead, Dave.
I did watch it beginning to end.
Okay.
And it just, I didn't hate it. Like, there were some jokes that made me laugh, but just, I felt like the movie was spending more time showing me clips from the first movie, being like, hey, remember this joke that was funny?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was. Do a new one now.
Yeah, I know. I think it was just a great. Plus, he's locked into a contract to do like what 5 movies for
Yeah.
Netflix. So, that's like Eddie Murphy. I think is locked in too. So it's like, and then Netflix is trying to stack the deck and get all the heavy hitters. But like, man, when you say like Adam Sandler, like, what's your favorite movie? It's Rain on Me. I have a curveball. I like Rain on Me a lot. I think it's an absolutely beautiful movie.
Very underrated. Doesn't get a lot of attention.
No, it doesn't. And Punch Drunk Love's another one I like that's an out there character too and everything. But it is what it is. All right. So Dave's coming now. We're gonna jump into the 4s. Dave's number 4. I'll just announce it and I will hand it over to him because I did not see it. Coming in at number 4, The Legend of Ochi. Cool. Dave, your pick, all yours.
So this is probably one most people never heard of. It played in theaters for like a week.
Okay.
Very limited, A24 release. I really liked, I mean, it's not, it's the same story we've seen, child finds mysterious creature that's being hunted by her village, has to return creature to, like, it's E.T. It's like it's all like I fully admit that.
Okay.
But what I loved just the lore of it. Like, it's set in Scandinavia, and even though it's modern day, so much of like the production design and the costumes are this blend of like modern and like medieval Viking, and just the design of the Ochi itself. I generally couldn't. I thought it was a puppet for a lot, and I found out later on, no, it's actually CGI for quite a bit of it, and it fooled me.
Nice.
And it immersed me into the world, and it is set in modern day, but it gave me the feeling of one of those like old 80s kids, kids find mysterious creature and have to return it home, type stories, and it gave me those good feelings again. And like I said, nobody saw it. It kind of came out of nowhere. It's got Willem Dafoe. He plays her dad.
Okay.
But I highly recommend it.
For myself and everybody watching that never saw this, dude, where's one see this film?
I don't even know. It came out in theaters in like the spring.
So it's got to be on something.
It is on HBO Max.
All right, there we go.
Oh, because it's A24 has like a deal with HBO Max.
Because A24 is Warner Brothers.
That would be why.
That'd be why. Yes.
That'd be why. For now.
For now, yeah. So
we won't get into that.
Yeah, maybe at the end or something. But all right, coming in at number 4 is one we all know. So I put it this way. How can I say this? Picking this was another. I won't call this a Happy Gilmore. It's a step above. I like the actor, and sometimes when you just announce a film is going to be violent and also just ridiculous, like a guy like this shouldn't be able to do this. Sometimes I'm all in. It happened. I watched the first one for the first time maybe 3 months ago, and the second one was already out. So I was like, hey, I'll watch the second one too. With that, coming out at number 4, it made me happy. Nobody Part 2. So I like Odenkirk, like straight up. Who doesn't like his work all the way back from the Ben Stiller show to Mr. Show. Sometimes, put it this way, if you were to take me say Jason Stathama's going to put a movie out, I will never watch it. Along with a lot of those other karate guys, it just doesn't do it for me anymore. But the simple fact that Odenkirk, like, he's not a musclehead. I love his acting. I love his delivery. But I dig Christopher Lloyd's in this, and like he's the crazy old man. I dig this. Redman's in it as a what?
Is he like 85 now or something?
Yeah, and he acts like a crazy 85-year-old man would, and his father. So Sharon Stone was in this, and she really looks a lot like Laura Petty, short hair. At least in this film, I was like, it took me a second. I'm like, who is that? I didn't want to look it up. I wanted to see if it popped, and it finally did. I was like, oh wow, Sharon Stone. But listen, if you just want to see some extreme violence, knowing the lead guy ain't gonna die, and have an off the rails plot, Nobody 2 is for you. Dave, did you see this?
I saw the first one and really liked it. I did not get around to seeing this one, but I love me Bob Odenkirk. Saul Goodman is I mean, even before he got his own show, he was my favorite character on Breaking Bad. And I'm in the minority that I think Better Call Saul is the better show, a lot of which is because of him. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Gotcha.
No, I'm on the fence. Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad had too much dead time at certain points, like where like Walter White is too, and Jesse was like, "You're ruining my life," But like Odenkirk's, even at down point, is still entertaining, and he's an energetic guy that always kept the show going. So I think Better Call Saul might be. I might be with you on that one. All right, we're going to jump into number 3. Coming in at number 3, Dave picks a movie I never heard of. Friendship. Dave, your pick, all you. Another A24.
It's another A24 movie that I watched on HBO Max. That has, what's his name? Tim Robinson, who, for those who don't know, he kind of gained. He's the guy behind that viral meme of like the guy yelling, "You sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that?" That's him. That's Tim Robinson. He's a comedian. I like this movie because I related to it so much. Tim Robinson is this incredibly weird guy that doesn't realize how weird he comes off. Paul Rudd moves into his neighborhood, and he wants to be friends with him. And Paul Rudd at first is like, yeah, cool, let's hang out. And then he starts to get creeped out by him, but then it goes too far. And, it reminded me a bit of Cable Guy, like a similar dynamic.
Okay.
Of this guy really wants to be the friend and this guy's kind of creeped out by him. But the reason why I put it on this list at all was I relate to this movie so much because I know a guy like Tim Robinson in this movie. And in case he's watching, I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah.
I don't think he watches this. But I'm like, oh my God, that's so and so. That's him. So it spoke to me so much.
Yeah, you sure about that? That you couldn't get away from that if you tried. Plus, it's always the critical drinker is always putting that up repeatedly in between.
I mean. It's such a well-known clip now that people who don't even know who he is use that clip to drive home a point. I've used it in YouTube Shorts before, before I even knew who he was. But it's such a weird, dark comedy that I'm a twisted guy, so I really liked it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm sure that's available everywhere too now.
It's on HBO Max. That's where I watched it. Yeah.
And then again, A24 is owned by Warner Brothers, which has the contract with HBO. So, all right.
I love how most of this list is just turning out to be A24.
Looking that way. Coming up next, I don't know if it's A24 or not, but in the land of Hollywood, and we're losing tons of money, and we're dumping hundreds of millions of dollars in the film, and then you have to put it in the budget, and it's like, oh, it didn't make its money back. Yeah, of course. Sometimes you got to get a good script. That's what this movie is. My number 3 about to be announced, and keep the budget right. I think the budget for this was about $53 million. Coming in at number 3 was one of the sleepers of the year. Weapons. And I think I see HBO Max there, so I'm guessing probably A24.
So I think this was just Warner Brothers, and this one's on my horror list.
Yes. Okay.
Because I love this movie.
So I'm gonna say something I don't say much about any movie these days. There's not really a flaw in this movie. This is a well-told story, good acting, different, but all at the same time, there's been movies not exactly similar to this with the formula, but I've seen it before. So, this is kind of like a sprinkle of this, sprinkle of that, but I dug it. I dug the whole idea of 2:17 in the morning. I dug how it jumped around to every character, a little bit of Pulp Fiction wise. You kind of got to learn and piece everything together. The only thing I said at the end of the movie, which I didn't like, was like, please explain, the aunt, explain her story. And now I heard
They are.
they are. So now I have no complaints. Now I'm none. So, I mean, this movie really was like, okay, cool. And I remember I saw the trailer. I was like, you got my attention. Let the first week go by and, hear the, oh God, this is great or it sucks. And like everybody across the board, I was just like, all right, I'm going to go. So my girlfriend and I, last minute, went to a theater and it was sold out. And I love the movie. I could spend all day of why I hate the theater experience of going because no one would stop talking the entire time. Nobody.
What day of the week did you go? Was it a weekend?
I think it was Sunday at like 4:00. Yeah, something like that.
Never going. Weekends are the worst at movie theaters.
Everyone was a commentator. Everybody was like, "Here's what I would do." They're out loud because we all wanted to know what your opinion was. So it was kind of hard to hold my patience. And that was the last time I was at the theater. By the way, I haven't been back since.
Well, that was like what, August that came out, I think.
Yeah. Outside of the screenings at the Allen Theater where I live by now, where they play a Breakfast Club or the first Superman and like iconic films we've already seen, which is actually, if you really think about it, like Jaws came out this year. It's like everything, Back to the Future is going in. It's like movies have gotten so bad and they have vacancies to put in hit movies that they're guaranteed. Just for one weekend, all of us are going to go out and see it in the big screen. That's how bad movies
are doing that for months, and since September, each month they do a series of here's 30 classic movies, and each one plays for one day that month.
Yes.
And it brings people in.
But there was a time that there was no room for that. That's how bad. We'd rather watch something we've seen a million times on the screen than to pay to look at something new.
I went in October, all 31 days of the month, to see all 31 horror movies because I was dedicated.
You are.
I lost a lot of sleep that month.
You are the definition of a moviegoer. But what's your thoughts on Weapons? Go for it.
I mean, I loved Weapons. It's when I do my top horror movies, it's one of them. Spoilers. I love that. I mean, not just the insanity that was the ending, which I don't want to spoil, but just that ending scene. You're like, oh my God, like we're going there.
Yeah.
But what I love about it is the discourse around it. The fact, so many movies kind of come and spell out what they're about, or they try to spoon feed the audience. Here's the moral of the story. Here's the message I'm trying to send. What I like about Weapons is how much debate there is around it because of how kind of surreal and vague that it's very heavy in theme, but we're all discussing and talking about what we think it's about. And that's how movies used to be. There's a whole documentary about The Shining just devoted to people arguing about what it's really about. And Weapons is, I think, the closest thing to that in a recent horror movie.
And they did something you don't see. We see too much of these days. Is every movie these days? Sometimes I give it a shot. I'm like, you told me the entire movie in the trailer. Weapons didn't do that. Weapons baited you and left you exactly of like, well, I want to know what's going on. Why did these kids run? Like I gotta go.
It gave you the first 5 minutes, and that was it. That was enough to reel you in.
Yep. So, Weapons will be Weapons is available now on HBO Max. So I highly watch it again. All right, we're hitting the number twos. Dave's number two is another selection I have not seen, so it's going to be all Dave on this one. I do highly like this actress. Coming in at number two, Companion. Dave, all you.
Companion is like, what if you took Terminator and made it a twisted rom-com? And that's kind of, and this is one that the trailers I was really frustrated with because they spoiled the kind of, there is like a first act twist.
Okay.
That I don't want to get into here, just in case you haven't seen the trailer or you want to watch it. But what I really liked about it was that it starts off as like, you think it's this like romantic comedy, but it twists it in such an interesting kind of sci-fi thriller way. It feels very Black Mirror, and you see, like, obviously every movie borrows from everything else. Like I'm saying, you see little snippets of Black Mirror, you see snippets of Terminator, you see snippets of Megan, the robot. But it takes these ideas and does something really interesting with them, and it has something to say, and it's satirical, and it certainly is like critical of like what it has, like a socio-political mind to it, but it's exploring it in such a funny and twisted way that it gets away with going full Terminator, but it's also really, really funny.
Okay. Yeah, and the actress in this I like a lot. She's in Yellow Jacket. She plays the
actress great. She was also in Heretic. That was that religious horror movie with Hugh Grant.
John Hughes or Hugh Grant.
That I loved.
Yep.
So she is the breakout star of this movie. She's the lead character. Oh my God, it's on HBO. This
no
video,
wonder why Netflix wants to buy everything.
This video is just a commercial for HBO Max. Just watch all the stuff on HBO Max.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, actually, we go to number two, which you could see on HBO Max.
See?
All right, this was supposed to be the blockbuster of the year. This is a pop culture icon. No matter how many of these make, I'm just married to it. I have a lot of love for this film. I also understand the problems. So does Dave. Coming in at number two would be James Gunn's Superman. About a year ago right now, they released the trailer for this, and I was just completely sold. Like, I loved all with the electric guitar of like the original theme song done over again. Crypto, I love the whole idea of the actor that plays Lex Luthor. I was completely cool with this. I always jump up for a second and say here, I also still love the Zack Snyder Superman. I think Henry Cavill still, even after it's still the best Superman. That's just my opinion. I'm not knocking this dude at all. I think he's a great choice for where James Gunn's trying to take Superman. This is the guy for it. Sure. I dug the film across the boards. There's, every film's got its issues. Here's what I'll piggyback of what I said a few choices ago when I was saying for Weapons. Weapons was made for, I think my million or so off, but was made for $53 million. This was made for what, $300 million? Like, I understand. Actually, I don't understand. You got to make these films cheaper if you're expecting to make profit. Between that and the marketing, I believe it just passed not too long ago, $600 million, which was with the advertising budget, what the whole movie cost. So you got this little profit margin.
It basically needed to crack $1 billion to like really be, and it didn't. And I know that Warner Brothers was certainly happy with it, but they would have been happy. I mean, Aquaman made $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. But we do have superhero fatigue. I don't care what anybody says. I mean,
And frankly, that's why when I was trying to pick like 5 movies, I wasn't really in a rush to put any superhero movies from this year on it.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm right
And
with
that's
you.
the first time maybe ever that I felt that way.
Yeah, so I mean, like, listen, by the time when this was being recorded, we're about 24 hours away after the Supergirl trailer hit, which I was like, oh my gosh.
It's Guardians of the
W-
Galaxy.
But I'm never watching that.com. I don't care if Lobo's in it for a second. Like I that I give a little bit of credit that you're trying to make the girl more modern, but I don't want when I see that actress, not knocking her because this is what James Gunn told her to do, but doing that annoying mid 90s action beat of the girls that you just wanted to throw down the steps because everything she said was annoying. That you don't make that a superhero. Sorry, I'm not flying with it. Like they're gonna have to put a
She's in she was in the first season of House of the Dragon.
okay.
And
So I
then
said I'm not knocking the actors. This is what James Gunn
yeah,
directed her to how to act. That's why I'm saying that. So
no, she's good in House of the Dragon, but I know what you mean. Like it I will see it solely like I review movies, so
that's
I
what
kind
you
of
do.
force
Yeah.
myself to see everything.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of always say I have to see it so that I can know what to complain about with it. Like
Yeah.
I saw, but yeah, no, I'm definitely way less kind of excited for it than I was. And like Superman, I went in with such high expectations,
Yep.
and not that it was a bad movie or disappointed me. I just had more issues with it than I would have liked to.
Yeah, I mean, we did a show about it and all that, but like
Mhm.
one of the top, I didn't like the American pride was taking away because that's Superman is supposed to be like the face of America, the American way, true justice, the American way. That one really bummed me out, but but there's people that are complaining like Guy Gardner and all those guys got too much time. I like that. I thought they were sprinkled in just enough. I thought
Mm.
Crypto was perfect. He came in, did something funny, and left. Like it was just enough. Like I don't know if Crypto could save Supergirl. I think
Think he's gonna be in it a lot more.
I think it
I'm
is, and
getting that vibe.
I think that's going to be overkill because people take their dog everywhere. I think that's what
I
because it's
gotta
not like
sell them.
she doesn't have to look after him. It's a Kryptonian dog.
Yeah, they gotta sell them toys, which I may or may not have got for my kids for Christmas. Which by the
Yeah,
time you watch this, they're already playing with them.
exactly. So, but there's a part of me a lot that I like what James Gunn is doing. There's another part of me I think he needs to answer to somebody because, like, when I'm looking at when he wants to make Supergirl, he has some characters I have no like the most bare bone like why are you making a movie on this outside of Swamp Thing? But I understand to the world though, no one cares about Swamp Thing. I just think he's picking stuff. He's basically like me and Dave are horror fans, so we're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna push a Psycho Cop and Maniac Cop, like because we like them. You gotta also look at like, does the community really want that to happen? And I think he needs to get restrained a little bit here. And I think we keep avoiding it, but who knows what happened by the time this airs? But this whole Netflix and Paramount trying to buy Warner Bros. I don't know if that's going to ice him. We're down to our ones, buddy. Yeah. All right. So without further ado, this might not be a HBO one. I don't think it's actually anywhere yet. You tell me.
So I looked at when you were talking about the last one. I went ahead and Googled it.
Okay.
This one is only available on like paid rent. Like you can pay like $5.
Okay. All right.
It's not free on any.
Okay, well, it is still pretty recent, and it's by
Came out in
one of.
September.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I don't know what the holdup is, but we're holding out in the audience here. Right? Now, Dave's number one for 2025 is The Long Walk, Stephen King novel. All right, Dave. You know what? I'm going to see this. I'm not in a hurry, and I'll tell everybody why I'm not in a hurry. I don't like Again, celebrities, shut your mouth. I don't like him going all crazy political. It bothers me.
I'm going to talk about that. I'm actually going to talk about that with this movie.
Okay.
So, when I talk about The Long Walk, I kind of have to talk about two things. One, the movie itself in a vacuum, which just the movie itself is gut-wrenching, bleak, and wrecked me emotionally and drove me to tears, and that is so hard to do with a movie nowadays, especially to a desensitized psychopath like me.
Okay.
But I also got to talk about the implications of the circumstances around the movie's release and why it did not do well.
Go ahead.
So this movie infamously flopped. Now, mind you, The Long Walk was never one of Stephen King's more famous works.
No.
It was one of the ones he released under the Richard Bachman pseudonym. But it's a pretty basic story, in the book it's 100, but in the movie it's 50 young boys, age 18, are just walking. Last one standing wins. If you stop walking, you get shot. He wrote it in the 60s as a metaphor for Vietnam and him seeing all of his buddies from high school and college going off and dying. And what is it all for? What is it? Trying to make sense of it. The movie itself is brilliant. It is not for the faint of heart. And King specifically said, if you adapt it, you must show them being shot. Show it in brutal detail. Do not shy away from it. Show how brutal and horrible it is.
Okay.
So all that being said, this movie came out 2 days after Charlie Kirk was killed.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So
12th. Yeah.
Just with that happening.
Yeah.
Now I'll get to King in a second, but just the timing of that. The movie was already scheduled for release. Obviously Lionsgate had no idea what was going to happen. But when it comes out, audiences are not really in the mood to watch a movie about young men getting shot. They're not.
Also, I got to take a punch at everybody in the world when there's a world event like that, which I was very upset what happened to Charlie and all that. I'll just came straight out and say that. But what everyone's opinion was on that for like a week, I could not believe the way the world treated each other. Like I could not believe. So I think the fact that everybody felt they were involved in their opinion matter, like they were almost like a star of what was going on. I don't think anyone went to the theater that weekend.
No.
It was almost like no one remembers this, but when Corey Feldman's Truth movement, when he was going to expose all that, like the pedophiles for himself with Corey Haim, when that aired was the actual day the COVID thing exploded, and like everybody was like, ready, but like, oh, I might die. Am I going to die? Yeah, we kind of put that aside.
And that was just unfortunate timing. You could make the argument that Lionsgate could have delayed the release. I don't know what it was literally 2 days later. So, at that point, you already have things lined up and
probably locked contracts. It's probably, and maybe they were hoping with everything going on, like they'll go to the movies to clear their head. But
this was not the kind of movie in times of real world turmoil and chaos, audiences, they want the naked gun. They want the escapism.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go with my number one, which is actually recent. These are the style of films as of late that I like because I don't like normal movies anymore. But you can never go wrong with a documentary. I believe almost everyone saw this. It is free on Amazon Prime. Coming in at number one. Can't go wrong with anything to do with John Candy. I Like Me. So, this was a beautiful documentary. Everybody through his family, all the directors and actors that he worked with. It's a beautiful documentary. It's free on Amazon Prime. It's just, he's been gone such a long time. It was just a beautiful way to go back and remember the great times and how huge of a heart this guy had. And you get to anytime you get to go back to like Second City, where you get to pluck Eugene Levy and Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and see where all these guys came from. Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas. I mean, the list that came out of Second City basically was a copy and paste to Saturday Night Live, but Candy was awesome, and he could have he obviously had a lot more to he went way too early, and it was nice to see that. I like documentaries. I've always been a big fan of them. I literally go to YouTube all the time and just put documentaries in and see if there's just something that interests me. And normally I never regret it. There's not too many that I just like, all right, I'm not interested in this. I'm backing out of it. But John Candy's a legend. He comes in at my number one. Dave, did you see this? I imagine you did.
So I actually just watched like the first 30 minutes of it the other day.
Okay.
And then I had like something came up and I had to leave the house and go somewhere.
All right.
And I'm meaning to go back and watch the rest of it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just such a legend of Hollywood, and just hearing the stories about him like behind the scenes, what he was like in his real life. They're like, no, he was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was this big teddy bear with a heart of gold that just, gave off this positive energy to everyone he encountered.
Yep. Yeah, definitely get back and check the rest of that out, because it's so worth it. And everybody who has Amazon, I think the world has Amazon, because everyone has packages constantly delivered to their house. So you have Amazon Prime. You get on there and put on look up I Like Me and check it out. And with that, Dave, we have ended the horrible year of films, which is 2025.
It was. Here's to 2026.
Yeah, really, right? Like, all right. With that, Dave, I thank you for coming on. You want to plug your world really quick?
Yeah, just check me out. Halloween year round on YouTube, doing all kinds of horror stuff. By the time you see this, I'll have all my end of year horror stuff for the year out. As well as every year on New Year's Day, I do like the top horror movies I'm looking forward to this year. I have to do some research to even see what's coming out in 2026 to make that list.
Understood. And I will say I thank this audience for taking the time to check it out. Also, take a quick second to let everybody know that I call it that we're on a pre-release. I call it. Camera X is available on POV Horror right now for a rental. But this got accepted to Tubi. So as soon as when it hits Tubi is when I'm going to be going mad marketing on all this. But for those who can't wait, yes, for those who can't wait, you can go rent it for 99 cents on the POV Horror site. Basically specialize in the found footage, reality TV stuff. But the thing about Tubi is they don't tell you. You just basically got to go check it every day. They don't send you an email, hey, it's live. So when that's out,
I didn't know that's how they operated.
All that's not just Tubi, that's everywhere. They just kind of go because they got hundreds of movies, so it kind of looks up like, okay, now we're on this, now we're off that, now we're on this. So, but they don't give you an announcement. So it's crazy. When I was doing my dark military film, like something be like, I just saw your movie on Plex. I was like, I'm on Plex. I was like, that's awesome. I didn't know I was
that's
on Plex.
How you found out, because someone else told you about it.
Yeah, I have to. So every so often, I voice command all my movies to see, like, oh, now we're on that. Be great if they told me, because, like, I'm the director. I should be able to advertise it. And
yeah, you can promote. They say, hey, it's coming on this date. Check it out.
I know. So between the companies and myself, obviously, I want to get the most hits and the most advertising. But like, if you don't tell me, it's like opening a pizza shop at the other side of town, but you don't tell anyone. How am I supposed to support you? Yeah.
Why do we have no customers? We didn't tell anyone we opened up.
And with that, I will tell you to stand by for my film directory for anything you're interested in checking out what I have. And most importantly, get off the internet.